Hello everyone, welcome to my review of The Amazing Spider-Man 2. This should be fun. That's right guys, we have finally made it to what most will consider the absolute worst of the Spider-Man franchise, Amazing Spider-Man 2. And once again, just like with the first Amazing Spider-Man, this is again a first time watch for me. Another movie that I basically refused to watch. Not because I didn't watch the first one, but because I heard the reception to this was so bad, I just had no interest in it. As a Spider-Man fan, just no interest. And I finally ended up sitting down and watching this movie, and yeah, definitely not good at all. And even though I say at all, there's actually one element, just one element to this movie that I liked slightly more than the first Amazing Spider-Man, and that's the actual Spider-Man stuff that they gave us. In the first, 20 minutes or so of this movie, Spider-Man going around and fighting crime, finally in this universe, because he never did that once in the entire first movie. I gotta give it credit for that, as well as the fact that the 2014's technology that they used back then, it wasn't really that bad at all. In fact, it looked really good. The swinging looked really good. That's literally the one saving grace of this entire movie, is that Spider-Man was pretty well done in this movie for the most part, but really everything else is just shit. Now, I already talked a little about Andrew Garfield. I don't dislike him in this role, not really even as Peter Parker, it's just the script doesn't give him that much to do, or really to talk about even. I mean, Gwen Stacy in this entire Amazing Spider-Man franchise pretty much does nothing. Yes, I know, she made the serum in the last one and she helps defeat Electro in this one. But that is literally it. And they don't set up anything for her to be able to even do any of that stuff. She can just fucking do it. But really, I had heard that Gwen Stacy has barely any character development in that movie. They were fucking right, because holy shit, there's not really anything for her to do in this movie. And I like Emma Stone. I think she's a very likable actress, and she's, good in the role. It's just the script really gave nothing for her to do. And that's a big shame, considering she is Peter Parker's love interest in this movie. Now, of course, let's talk about the villains. Rhino, not good. I kind of like the way the mechanical suit looks. I was always curious during the lead up to that movie how that was going to look, and it looks fine. It's just the guy behind it, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, the guy behind it, Paul Giamatti is just really not good here. I mean, it's so over the top, and I get that's what the script wanted it to do, but my god. As far as Electro goes in this movie, I don't think Jamie Foxx is necessarily bad in the role. You do feel some sympathy for his character, but in the end, it's just another neglected employee of a major company that's in the movie that just so happens to send this guy to do a very dangerous task, and he still ends up doing it even though there's no power cut to it. So obviously something bad was going to happen. And I just want to know, where did Oscorp get the electric eels? The electric eels are literally never explained. Now, Dane DeHaan, who is actually a very good actor, who plays Harry Osborn in this movie, a new iteration, plays him horribly. It really is just a lot of slow talking, and I'm dying because of my father's illness, and even though it took him years to die from it, I'm gonna die now, Peter, I'm gonna die now. I need Spider-Man's blood. You get it? It's just not good at all, and the setup for him becoming the Green Goblin is so ridiculous. I think literally taking that serum to become the Green Goblin proved Peter right, because he ends up taking the spider serum. I'm assuming the same thing that made Peter Spider-Man, which again, Peter's dad making the spiders, genetically altered spiders, that was literally the untold story. That was it. That was it to it. Nothing else is done. Yeah, they have the parents at the beginning and it implies that they die, but no, they're just done, I guess, apparently. Peter's parents are just gone, so that's great. But guys, this is going to be a quick review. Finally, I want to talk about the Sinister Six stuff that they added in there. Wow, they really were making that movie, or even that universe, just to make the Sinister Six, weren't they? They literally had Norman Osborn nowhere in the first Amazing Spider-Man, have him in there for 5 minutes in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, just to die, just to find out he had this whole plan thing going on where he was making mechanized suits for a Sinister Six. And now because Norman Osborn is dead, we literally have no clue why he does it. I don't remember the movie telling us at all. And if it did, believe me, I did not care enough to find out. Not just because the Sinister Six obviously didn't happen with that universe, but just because I didn't give a shit. Guys, Guys, honestly, after that last part, I literally just sat for about 10 minutes and I can't think of anything else with this movie because really nothing else happens. I pretty much explained to you the entire movie in just a couple minutes. This movie was a mess. I'll be honest with you. This is definitely the worst of the Spider-Man movies, in my opinion. However, I think The Amazing Spider-Man pisses me off just a tad bit more because they tried to retell Spider-Man's origin story, did it awfully, barely had any action. If you saw my review for that movie, barely any action happens in that movie. Definitely barely any Spider-Man action, I can tell you that much. So, at least this movie had some cool web slinging and stuff, and that's about it. I mean, I still think the best part of this entire 2 Amazing Spider-Man movies is when Spider-Man saved that kid in the last movie. That's honestly the best part of these entire 2 movies, in my opinion. But there's really nothing else for me to talk about this movie. I know a lot of people dislike this movie, and I live in Rochester, New York, where part of this movie was filmed. And when I say part, I mean maybe a shot. So, whatever. I guess that's the legacy this movie has and Rochester has with movies being made here. But yeah, guys, that's really all there is to talk about this movie. This movie is not good. It was a bore to get through. Seeing Gwen and Peter's will they won't they relationship just looked like Twilight all over again. Just so she can die at the end. Pretty much. I mean, that's really it. Just so she can die at the end. And I'm just sitting there like, you're making me go through all this stuff knowing that you're going to kill her. And I can tell by the way that they're doing it that they planned it like that. So, that's really all I got with this movie. It's not good. I do not recommend it. It's definitely not a movie I'm going to watch again. So therefore, I'm going to give The Amazing Spider-Man 2 a C-. I think it's worse than The Amazing Spider-Man as a movie. But from my own perspective, I liked this movie just a tad bit more than that one. But, again, that's it. What do you think of The Amazing Spider-Man 2? Do you agree with what everyone says? Do you agree that this is a shitty movie? Or are you someone that actually likes this movie? Please, let me know in the comments below. I'm always willing to listen to other opinions. Once again, please consider supporting my channel. I would absolutely appreciate it. Spider-Man No Way Home is coming very soon, and I'm finally about to talk about the MCU Spider-Man movies. I can't wait to do that. Guys, thank you so much. Please consider clicking that subscribe button. I would absolutely appreciate it. Once again, thank you very much. Agent out.